fuck around and have a good time and do whatever. No, we're gonna fuck around. We're gonna have a good time. All right, you ready to go live? All right, here we go. All right, that was an effort. I had to welcome AJ Hoffman. What's up, dude?
What's up,
Hey,
man?
I wanted to give you a little while. I normally start at 7, but I know you don't get off air till 7. So I was like, well, fuck, that's not really fair to him. So started a little later, but that's all good. I know you had to pee.
It's all right. I mailed in the last half hour of the show anyway.
So
So
business
it
as
was,
usual. Okay.
yeah.
Are you guys struggling like we are to find topics?
Not
No.
really. It's kind of like a never-ending summer, which, you know, I've always been like, even from when I worked in Austin, I would have my most rating success in the summertime when every other sports show would be like, oh God, what do we talk about? What do we talk about? Like, I don't even honestly. There's times when I don't even like sports that
Oh
much.
yeah.
So if I don't have to talk about sports, it's not that big of a deal. And it's not that there aren't sports topics, but I don't struggle for content. I mean, there's always something interesting or funny going on in the world. I typically don't like to get into like a bunch of politics and stuff on the show, but I mean, sometimes there's so much going on that you can't avoid it now, and I'm sure it's going to drive some people away. But it is what it is, man. It's desperate times, desperate measures type thing.
Right.
I'm just talking about what interests me, and that's kind of what I've always done with the show anyway. So it's not too different for me.
It's a good formula though, man. Because when I first, even before I got into radio, dude, I would listen to John and Lance, and it was kind of the same thing where they would fuck around and not do sports stuff. They would just, they would do all kinds of other shit, and it was great. And then then I started listening to 97.5, met you, and listened to what you and Fred have been doing on the Blitz for damn near a decade now. And again, it was like, this is so refreshing. I think that's why people gravitate to it, man. It's new and it's fun, and people get tired of hearing the same lame sports shit for fucking 10 hours a day.
Well, I always tell people, I've always wanted our show to be like you and your boys hanging out at the bar. Like if you got a 4-top table, a high top at, insert wing place here, and everybody got a beer, what would you talk about? And if I hang out with 3 people that only talk about sports, I'm hanging out with weirdos. Like that's if all you ever want to talk about is sports, you're a weird dude.
Yeah.
So I just talk about stuff that is like what I think of as like normal dude stuff.
Like when you and I hang out, and like I said, we've known, when I put it in the I put it in the what's it called, the show notes before I go live. I leave a little message or whatever, and I was like, AJ and I have known each other for a decade, so lots of shit will probably be talked in the next hour or whatever. But that's always been the case. But we don't even now when you and I hang out, we don't talk a lot of sports. We fucking talk about everything else. Sports comes up, but it doesn't drive the conversation because that's not normal life.
Normal dudes are able to talk about sports.
Yeah,
but it's not normal if that's all you talk about.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to bring up a topic right away here.
I'm so mad I don't have a drink. I'm gonna have to. I don't know how
Go
long
get
these
one
things
real
last.
quick. Fuck it. There's no rules on this, bro. Go get a drink. I'll wait.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah, hurry the fuck up.
And then I want to talk shit to you about your
Yeah,
Crown
I
Royal
know,
habits.
motherfucker. It's what we're gonna do. Sons of bitches. AJ's lagging a little bit with his audio, but I mean with the video, but I'm not sure why. We'll figure it out. But I'm gonna drink this drink and we're gonna talk some shit. He whiskey shamed me on the internet, and that's just unacceptable. Unacceptable. I feel bad, y'all, because he's on air from 4 to 7, and then I'm like, yeah, we go live at 7, bro. So you got no time off. You go straight from one to the other. By the way, shout out to everybody that's already in. I see Jeremy got in early. Walt, what's up, Walt? Santos is back. Welcome back, John. Welcome back. My man Andy Huggins is in the hizzy. Oh, Mark Shell. Well, look at you, Mark Shell. Donnie, Brian. I see how you guys. Andy's ready to talk comedy with AJ. I know that. Josh, dude, there's you're bringing
that's
them out.
entertainment.
You're bringing them out for the what is?
I went to go get a beer in the middle of our show.
No, who gives a fuck? It's okay. I'm telling you, because people are always like, well, what is this for? What is this about? What do you do? I'm like, I don't do anything. I just want to shoot the shit. It's almost damn near what you said earlier in that there's no rules. I don't research. I just look for interesting people, and then we just fucking shoot the shit. So I don't have a script. I don't have topics. Yeah, I mean, I say interesting people.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to hear any of these episodes, so I don't know exactly what to expect. But yeah, I told you before this thing started, I'm not that interesting.
No,
but
dude,
I'll do my best.
Well, first of all, there's a chat too. So if any good questions come up, there's like a little chat session with this thing that goes live because we're streaming live on YouTube. We're live. We're looking live.
You're looking live, folks.
YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So there's a lot of, and then it'll be recorded and saved forever. I don't have to do shit. That's why it's easy to do because I don't have to do anything. I hit start. We talk shit for however long, and then when we're tired or don't give a fuck anymore, we stop and I don't do anything. It's just up there forever.
I'm not on Facebook or Twitch. I have a YouTube account that I haven't put anything on in like 15 years.
What's on it?
I once posted a video at spring training of Adam Dunn hitting batting practice. And like every couple of years, I'll get an email. Someone commented on your post. And it's like, who the fuck is commenting on Adam Dunn hitting bombs like in, 2003?
No,
like, oh, that's an interesting YouTube video to look up and check out.
You should have tried to monetize it. You get like residuals from being an extra in a fucking sitcom, so you get like 3 cents from YouTube.
I didn't realize how huge it was, or I would have put ads on it. It was a big mistake on my part.
Now, just to start this shit talking off right. The other day I posted because that's the other thing. So you know me, I'm not a big drinker, right? Like I don't drink a lot. But ever since I started these, I was like, I love Crown, and I'm going to drink every time I do one of these. So I'm literally drinking every night. It's starting to get bad. Okay, shut the fuck up, because you were about to say you're not really drinking. Now, I've got
you're drinking. Don't get me wrong, you're drinking. But if you like whiskey, you don't pour fucking Diet Coke in it.
Why do you feel the need to whiskey shame me on the internet?
It's funny. Like,
you know what makes me mad?
I always tell people about the time that we went to B&B Butchers, and it was this was the early days of you and Joel. I wasn't your boss at the time, but this was like the early days of that show. And you guys hated each other, which I thought was hilarious. So I would always try to poke at that.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys both had like this feast was amazing that they set up for us. B&B Butchers is like one of the most badass restaurants in Houston. I mean, the food is every time. And they had like this thing set up for us where we got to basically try everything on the menu in one sitting. It was beautiful. And they also had their wine list wide open and their whiskey list wide open. It's like, dude, I was taking advantage of this.
Yeah, you were
100%.
Because you drink like a man.
I was drinking wine that I would have
like a man.
I would have never ordered this wine like if I were paying for it at the end of the meal because the bottles of wine they were opening were as expensive as the meal. And then the whiskey list, I mean, for me, I like to try I like beer, whiskey. I like to try new stuff. But this was a case where I'm getting to drink some whiskeys that I don't have to pay for. I'll go a little top shelf. And at first I laughed at Joel because they've got like a 90-day dry aged this is one of the only places in the country. I think there's 10 restaurants in the United States where you can get authentic Kobe beef.
Yeah.
Normally you can only get it in Japan. There are 10 restaurants in the United States certified to get real legit certified Kobe beef. So if you ever go to another restaurant and it says Kobe burger, it's Kobe style. It's not the actual Kobe cows. So this is one of the places that actually has it. Joel orders his well done. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I mean, even the chef is looking at him like, are you sure?
At least you didn't put ketchup on it like you normally would.
Yeah. God. You got A1? Do you got any A1?
You got any Heinz 57 back
there?
Ugh, I gotta put some flavor on it.
It's pretty bland. You got any like horseradish and mustard? But so I'm done shaming him for that.
Yeah.
And then the whiskey comes around, and you're ordering a Crown and Diet. And
no, you guys had me try another whiskey, right?
Yeah, I said, dude, the whiskey list is open. Try something besides Crown.
What did you recommend I try? What did you recommend?
I think you ended up trying a Whistle Pig Rye.
That's what it was.
A 15-year-old Whistle Pig Rye.
Tastes like a pig's asshole. It was awful. Oh, it was like I might as well have sucked a pig's dick right there at the table. Seriously.
See, that's what
it was. You drank it straight.
Honestly, yeah, I drink it straight. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you like the taste of Diet Coke more than you like the taste of whiskey, you're probably used to sucking dick. So it's
okay, good. Wine guy. Okay,
wine.
You know, wine is a gateway to blowjobs. And not getting them, but giving them. That's why women drink wine, so they get themselves ready to suck a dick. And you're all like, "I'll have another."
Listen, I'm a versatile man when it comes to drinking.
Oh, when you do it, you're a versatile man.
Then you get the Whistle Pig Rye, and you dump a fucking Diet Coke in it. It's like, dude, it was like a $60 shot of whiskey, and you're like, can I get some ice cubes and Diet or whatever the fuck?
But I did sip it. I tried it just straight, and then I was like, oh God, yeah,
tastes like whiskey. Can't have that.
No. Oh my God, it was fucking. But see, here's the thing though. I do love the blend, and it's the right amount too. Like I have this glass right, and it's half full of whiskey. So when I put it in there, the whiskey goes half full, and then I put in some Diet Coke. So I like the right blend because it brings out a little bit of sweetness in the whiskey. Now I don't like fruity drinks or none of that shit, like pina coladas. But for some reason, whiskey, and I don't drink regular Coke because the sugar is too much. But a whiskey and Diet, Crown and Diet is just perfect for me. I don't know, you still get alcohol, but it's not,
Do you like Coke Zero?
Not really. It's not bad.
Coke Zero or regular Coke?
I would rather drink a Coke Zero because, again, regular Coke is too sweet.
You like the taste of Diet Coke?
Yeah.
God, I think Diet Coke is disgusting.
Well, that's because you don't drink it. I got so fat. I was drinking like 12 to 15 Dr. Peppers a day. And then I switched to, I was like, okay, I'm going to get diabetes and all this shit. So I switched to Diet Dr. Pepper and drank that for a very long time. And then just got sick of it and switched to Diet Coke. And I've been on Diet Coke ever since. And I can't go back because it's way too sweet.
Well, I used to drink, like when I was a young man, and I'd be like at clubs or whatever, I would drink rum and Diet Coke. Like if you're looking for, but I also
what the fuck? So you use Diet Coke as your mixer?
Yeah, I was 23.
Okay, well that's.
I drank like a kid. Yeah.
All right. Okay. No, so what you're saying is, I'm a bitch kid. That's how I drink my whiskey, like a bitch kid.
You just kind of never grown up. That's all.
I really don't, and I've tried. God damn it, I have tried. Like I'll take some. I have that Crown Royal mash or whatever the fuck it was, and I'll put it in a glass. My wife bought me. She's like, you need to be a man, so she bought me one of those
dick pills.
Yeah, yeah. She bought me a strap-on, and she's like, here, this will make me happy. No, she bought me like one of those whiskey glasses that has like the thing in the middle for the ball of ice. Yeah. And and I'm trying, and I'm just like, fuck, this is awful. It tastes like you're drinking gasoline. Now, I did all that. I tried different whiskeys. I can't sip a whiskey, but a scotch, for some reason, I'm good. I can sip a scotch.
So let's say there's some dignitary that you were having a meeting with. Mm. I don't know like who you respect, or like let's just say it was like I don't know. You had a meeting with former President Obama.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You're being introduced to the former president and his wife.
I'm drinking Hennessy, bro.
It's a black tie affair, and they say, "What can I get you to drink?" What are you drinking?
Okay.
If they say, "What can we get you to drink?"
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going with?
I'll just take water.
Oh, but Obama's
I'm not
like,
gonna embarrass
you
myself.
sure you don't want a cocktail?
No, I'm good. I'm driving.
I can't get you a cocktail, Barry.
You need a change. You need change. You need a change. You need to be a man. And no, I would be like, yeah, the wife's drinking. I'm driving. So I'm not gonna fucking
You'd be too
embarrass
embarrassed to order a
myself.
Crown and Coke.
I on the rare occasion, like I've been somewhere where they've had like an open bar or cash bar, and I'll be like, let me get a whiskey diet because I don't know if they have Crown, and then they'll show me their whiskeys, and I'll pick a good one, and they'll be like, we don't have diet, we just have regular Coke. So I'll drink that, and it's not awful, but I don't like just straight whiskey for some reason. Now, what's weird though, dude, this is so fucked up.
Can you do whiskey and water?
I've never tried it. I should try it.
That's how my dad likes his. My dad's a Crown guy too,
and
he likes Crown, and he'll put a couple splashes of water in it because like straight up whiskey, it's too
the same thing. Yeah.
It gives him like a burn or whatever.
Yeah, I don't like the aftertaste. But what's
Okay.
weird is I can shoot anything. I don't give a fuck.
Oh.
I can shoot anything. Like, you give me Jaeger or I don't give a fuck what it is. Rumpelmans. Think of the nasty. I have no problem shooting anything.
Yeah, remember when I was drinking rum and diet? I also drank Jaeger bombs back then. So that should let you know about where rum and diet falls on the scale.
You're such a frat daddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can shoot anything, but I can't drink whiskey straight up. But I started getting like Skylar. I have like a Glenlivet that I can sip. But I don't. That's not my thing. I like whiskey and diet. So go fuck yourself.
All right, I will.
I'm doing this.
Enjoy your frat guy drinks.
My bitch whiskey. What are you drinking?
And your wife bought you that, and she's like, oh, this fucker can't even drink whiskey with it. Like, what the fuck?
I should have married a real man.
Yeah, I bet the dude she fucks behind your back drinks whiskey straight. Or at least like tequila or something like that.
Last night, dude, have you ever heard of this shit? I had AR Platinum. He's a listener, but he has this YouTube channel, which is fucking insane. If you don't know who this dude is, look him up. He has a YouTube channel. 65,000.
You want me to do it right now?
No, 65,000 subscribers, and his YouTube channel is he does scratch offs. He just sits there and scratches lotto tickets. 65.
What the fuck?
Oh, dude. It was so fascinating. We talked for an hour last night about it. It was fascinating. But he
can't wait to not watch that shit.
It's fucking. I was like, I had so many questions. But he listens to the station all day, every day. So he's a great dude. But
not all day, because you got to have time to scratch off tickets.
Dude works like 8 hours a month. He sits there and films like all his videos and then just posts them all and quit his job. That's how much money he makes now.
Oh my God. Is he making money from YouTube or from scratchers?
Bro, he told me, I won't give you, I could text it to you, but I'll just tell you this. It can put radio to shame.
Shit.
Yeah, we need to go YouTube, bro. It's crazy.
I guess, yeah.
But he was drinking. Now, you tell me what's worse. I'm drinking whiskey and Diet Coke. He was drinking Diet Mountain Dew and tequila.
Oh.
What the fuck is that? I've never heard of that. Have you?
I never heard of that either.
What's worse?
I think his is worse.
Okay, thank you. At least I'm not the shittiest alcohol drinker. I don't know how you do the beer thing either. Like the beer, you get the stouts and the what is that? Yeah, what is that? What are you drinking?
It's a hazy double IPA. It's called Robocall.
Now, what is double IPA? I know IPA.
11 Below.
Okay.
Shout out 11 Below. It's a brewery right over here in my neighborhood. Like it's got like a hop forward. It's 8.77% ABV. It's an IPA, double IPA.
The IPAs. I had I think Hopadilla was like the first IPA, and I love that they have great beer, but IPAs again too like I don't.
It tastes too much like beer.
Yeah, I guess that's it, dude.
You love Bud Light.
Yeah,
it doesn't taste like anything.
All right. My wife drinks a better beer than I do. That's how fucking sad it is. She drinks a Dos Equis.
What's she drink?
Dos Equis and Shiner.
Okay.
And I'm like, you're
You never pop open one of those Shiner boxes?
I mean, if I don't have any Bud Light, I'll drink a Dos Equis or a Shiner. I'll drink a lot of different beers. I don't really care. But like the stouts and the IPAs and shit like that, that's not my. I'm a Pilsner kind of guy. That's what I learned.
That's all right.
I'm a Pilsner guy. Because like we'll go, like if I do a gig at a brewery, which is becoming an everyday thing. Comedy and breweries now, it's like the new strip clubs. Back in the day in comedy, it was strip clubs. They would have shows like in between strippers or whatever. And now it's breweries. That's the big thing. And so I'll go and they'll let us drink for free, and I just stick with Pilsner. So I'm not like, oh, you guys have Bud Light in the back. It's a fucking brewery. But if they have a Pilsner or like a blonde or something like that, I'll drink that.
That's what you're going with.
Yeah, I can't fuck around with that.
I used to
hoppy barley bullshit. I don't know what the fuck all that is.
Strip clubs used to be way more active on everything. I used to do my radio show from a strip club in Austin all the time, and in fact, they would send me out. Like Joy of Austin would have me out to do Thursday night football back in the day, and basically would have watch parties at the strip club. And they would pay me in Joy bucks, which were like strip club dollars. And
wait a minute.
I mean,
it's like a pussy casino.
Yeah,
they've got like their own, like you check in, you give them $100 in cash, and they give you pussy bucks, right? Is that
but I didn't give them anything. They just gave me, because I'm hosting a watch party.
Right.
They're like, here's $500 in Joy bucks.
Bucks.
Yeah,
500.
Yeah, and this is back in the days of like the $20 lap dance, you know. So $500 would go a long way. Now,
dude, $500, I could go 3 months at a strip. I'm the cheapest at a strip club. I'm telling you, I could go with $40 and leave with money in my pocket. And
I haven't been to a strip club.
I
haven't been to a strip club since I've lived here in Houston. Yeah. So it's been a long.
We need to
time.
go.
No, I don't have time for that shit.
We just go get food at the men's club for lunch.
Yeah, listen.
You ever eaten lunch at a strip club?
No, I don't. I'm not a buffet guy. We were talking about this on the show today. Like we were talking about, is coronavirus going to kill buffets? And for the most part, if it does, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I do worry about is like fucking Brazilian steakhouses, because that's some of my favorite places, and technically, it's a buffet.
Kind of a buffet.
So I hope that, because I know those things are all closed right now, so I hope that shit opens back up.
Yeah, because you can't. There's no point in getting takeout at a Brazilian steakhouse. That would defeat the purpose. That's like, that's like trying to get takeout at the Golden Corral. That's not.
So for me, at that place, the game is get my money's worth.
Right.
I want to walk out feeling like I got them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like you're shitting in the parking lot. You're so full. Yeah. I'm the same way.
So if I go by myself, it's easy to beat them. It's easy for me to get my $60 worth of meat. If I take my family, I know I gotta go. I gotta put in some work.
Put in $240, and I know your fat ass can do it, but it's gonna take you a minute.
So like, kids will usually get it for like they're about $20.
Oh, okay.
For the kids.
So you're eating for three, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my wife is probably gonna eat $20 worth of food.
Yeah.
And have to pay $60.
Yeah.
You know, I can count on one kid to probably eat $30, $35 worth.
Is that the oldest?
No, it's the youngest.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he'll eat all the what I tell him to do is eat the fancy cheeses off the salad bar. He's gonna eat that shit.
Go eat the Goudas and shit. Don't you?
Yeah,
I don't fuck with that salad bar.
Swiss. That's cheap,
bro. You fuck with the salad bar at the Brazilian steakhouse?
I don't.
Oh, you're just getting him to.
He's 7.
Okay. Yeah.
He can't eat $60 worth of straight meat.
Right. No, I got you.
So he's got to get some cheeses and stuff like that. I don't think any of us eat vegetables there.
Oh,
Nobody
if you
eats
do,
vegetables.
you don't go to Brazil. Yeah. My wife would be like, look, they got plantains. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. It is 100% meat. No vegetable, no nothing other than meat should touch my plate.
The only produce I will eat at those places, if they come around with the fried banana, I will eat a fried banana.
Ugh. That's a plantain, right?
The grilled pineapple.
What?
Yeah, sometimes they come around with the pineapple and they'll cut a slice off for you, like the grilled pineapple.
I've never had them offer me a pineapple at a Brazilian steakhouse. And I make sure, if nothing else, on my birthday, we go every year. We go to a Brazilian steakhouse, if nothing else. Now, I'll try to get out 3-4 times a year. Because I love steak. I mean, like, that's my shit.
Yeah.
But I've never, in all the times I've gone, never had them offer me grilled pineapple. I feel like I'm being...
You're being jobbed.
I'm being lied to. They're like, that guy drinks
Yeah.
whiskey and diet. He can't handle pineapple.
And I'll tell my kid, I'll be like, hey, man, you want some soup? And I'll get him some lobster bisque. And I'll make sure that you got to dig down to the bottom and get all the lobster and then put a little bit of soup on top of that shit. My kid's like, this isn't soup. This is basically a bowl full of lobster with like a little bit of soup on top of it. What the hell is this? Just eat it, son.
No, dude.
Eat all of it.
Richard Burmaster's in. It's like the TCD trifecta right now. Richard said you have to spend more to get pineapple. Fuck you, Richard. You guys, I got 2 shit talkers in right now. God, this is going to be the fucking worst. All right, I cut you off on the stripper story. Back to doing radio in a strip club.
Oh, nobody does that anymore. It used to be a big thing. Like when I was in Austin, my radio shows were sponsored by strip clubs and like sex shops. We constantly had like what was the name? It was Adult Video Megaplex was the big one. It was on 35 in Austin, and they were a sponsor of ours. And literally every month they would bring a giant box
dildos
of porno and dildos, everything.
To the station?
This was back before. Yeah, this was back before Pornhub was big. This was like when there was DVDs, and I like. By this point, I was already like dating Annie. I didn't want to come home with a big, box of porno every day.
Yeah,
but that's literally what we would give our interns.
That was the giveaway.
Hey, here you go.
Caller number 7, you're gonna win a rabbit. Caller number 7.
It used to drive Annie crazy that like every single time we do a white elephant Christmas, it was always. I just had like. Because I had boxes of sex toys and porno. It's like, well, this is the only way to get rid of it. Put it in,
That is hilarious, dude. What's the, now you do crazy shit. You and I similar in that we'll do crazy shit. We don't care about, that's going to be embarrassing or what. It's anything for the laugh or the entertainment. That's what our job is, right? Entertain people.
Yeah.
And we'll do dumb shit or crazy shit. Does she cringe? Because like, sometimes Nora will find out about something I've done on the radio or TV or on the stage, and she'll be like, "Oh my God, I can't." Is Annie like that? Where if you do something, she's like, "You're a fucking idiot."
Yeah. Oh yeah. And now before I met her, the show I did was barely a sports show. Like we would do tickets for tatas, where we would have guys would bring their wives or girlfriends into the studio. Or sometimes sisters, and they would get topless and do a segment with us.
The guys
topless.
or the sister or
the girls?
Oh, okay. I was like, are you getting dudes to show you their titties, bro?
The guys would get tickets to either a Longhorn football game or like a Spurs playoff game or something like that. So people would come in, and we literally had a waiting list of people who wanted to bring their wives and girlfriends into the studio and get naked with us for tickets to stupid Longhorns games. And she's like, "Oh my God, thank God I didn't know you when you were doing," and because we had to like newspaper off the windows, because all the sorry ass salespeople would be trying to like just try and get a peek at some boobs, and we had to hide it from them. But it was funny radio, but if I had been with her at the time, it wouldn't have gone.
I was gonna say, what if you did that now? What would she do? She'd be pissed.
She'd be pissed. Yeah. Because now, I mean, ostensibly, I'm a grown man. I'm 39 years old now. I'm not 23.
Yeah.
I've got a career, not just like some jerk off radio job. So I think she'd probably frown upon it. I've got children that I'm supposed to be like a role model to. Even
God help those children if you're their role model.
Listen,
good
luck.
Why do you think radio's gotten away from that shit? Because if you weren't here. Well, I don't know. When did you leave Houston? Because you were born here, right?
Yeah, 2005.
Okay, and then you went to Tennessee, right? That's when.
No. I got here in 2010. I started in radio.
No, not radio. I'm talking about life. I'm talking about life. You were born here, right?
No, I was born in Brazoria County.
Okay, but in the area. But in the area.
Yeah.
And then you went to Tennessee for school.
No, I went to New Mexico for a little while.
Okay.
And then I joined the Army, and I lived in Tennessee. I went to college in Tennessee, right. And then I came back. A
lot of people don't know. Why? Tell them where you went to college, because I think it's fascinating that this is what you did, because I don't think people would have guessed it.
I went to a music college. Yeah, I went to a school to. I basically want. I've got an audio engineering degree.
Yeah.
I wanted to like produce and record music, and that's actually why I moved to Austin to work in a studio. Because I had no visions of doing radio. That wasn't in the plans at all.
Never
Much
wanted
less
to do
sports
radio?
dude. When I started in sports radio, my first day interning at ESPN Austin is the first day I ever heard sports radio with my ears.
Really? You never were a listener?
I'd never listened to a minute of sports
Bro,
radio in my life.
I can remember being
because, like I said,
like
it
8 years
seemed
old.
weird to me.
It was?
Yeah, it's
you weren't like a sports guy until then? You weren't like into sport? I mean, you maybe watched the game or what?
I was into sports, but yeah, I mean, I watched games, but I wasn't listening to other people talk about games. I thought that was weird.
Okay. And now?
I mean, now I hope everybody should listen to 97.5.
Not weird
obviously.
now, right?
Yeah.
So you.
It's totally normal. Listen to my shows. Listen to the station all day, every day. It's totally normal.
Yes. Yeah. Don't be the stick to sports guy or get back to sports guy. Fuck those guys. What made so you were in Austin? What made you go be a fucking intern? Because you were there. So what did you want to be? An engineer? Because when you say producer, when you talk about a music producer, that's like you need to understand music theory and beats and music and notes and all that. Were you more into the engineering or were you more into creating the music?
All of it.
Really?
I was into all of it. Yeah. And I was really more into working the boards. I liked sound engineering, and I did some live audio and stuff like that when I was in Nashville. But I liked the idea of mixing after everything was done. I liked the idea of mixing the music. But yeah, there's no money in it. And especially now, like when I was going to school, Pro Tools was a new thing. And we learned about it and they're like, listen guys, this is the future of this business is Pro Tools. But they still taught us all the old shit, like how to work these $50,000 boards. But then basically what they don't tell you is 2 years from now, everybody's going to be able to do this on their fucking laptop.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, we're teaching you guys some crazy shit. Pretty quickly, everybody's going to be able to do this stuff.
But the theory is that you learn, because when you're engineering and when you're mixing, you learn about levels and sounds and okay, if the vocals start, you gotta bring down like the drums and some of the backing music and stuff like that. So I mean, it's still the same, but you're just using something digital instead of physical, right?
Right.
Okay. So that's what you wanted to do. You go to Austin to do that. How did you end up going to intern at a sports talk radio station?
Because a guy named Wally Lynn found me, who was the pre and post game voice of the Dallas Cowboys. And he lived in Austin. Wally had worked for Mark Cuban, and when Mark Cuban founded Yahoo, and basically when Mark Cuban sold it, Wally got a ton of stuff. He had a ton of stock in what ended up being Yahoo, and he made a fuck ton of money off of this. So he bought this gigantic ranch in Austin, and he owned this company, like a fucking like a concrete sealant company called Granitite. And he was doing he had worked at the Ticket in Dallas, and now he was doing this show in Austin. He had his own show in Austin. And I had been, I'd been bartending, and I'd been doing shitty open mics. And
playing or just like, when you say open mics, what were you doing at the open mics?
No, I was telling shitty jokes.
You were doing comedy? What?
Yeah. I've told you this before.
I know. But there's a ton of people right now in this, and I guarantee you a lot of them don't know half of these stories. So and people don't know you did comedy for a minute.
So Wally thought I was funny, and he said, dude, do you know anything about sports? And I was like, yeah, I know a little about sports. And he's like, do you want to intern for me? And I was like, okay. Well, what are we talking about? He said ESPN radio. And I'm like, oh, this
that's like suck a dick or anything? Like, what is
this sounds like there's some fucking money in it. So it turns out
radio cha-ching.
Yeah, it turns out this was like a fucking mom and pop company, and ESPN radio in Austin was like a fucking studio, like about the size of my bathroom. And and Wally was doing the morning show. It was called Wally and the Big D. It was this dude named David Anderson, who he eventually, it used to be Wally and the Double D's. It was David Anderson and Dave Tepper.
Oh,
and
no shit. That's where you met Tepper.
Yeah. Yeah, Tepper had since moved to the afternoon show, but this was Wally and the Big D. And Wally brought me in, and like my internship, they taught me, I pretty much knew how to run the board already.
Yeah.
But I would pass him jokes. And
you would just write jokes right there on the.
Yeah. And then eventually he started having me mic up. And after about 3 or 4 months, he went to the boss and said, "Hey, I want this kid to be my co-host." I was 23 years old.
Wow.
And
that just
Wally
doesn't happen, by the way. That doesn't.
It doesn't.
In as much as you don't win a contest and then 3 years later you have a midday show in the 6th largest market, shit like that does not happen.
No way.
Yeah.
And David was like he still does some radio to this day. David Anderson does. He's an Austin radio legend. And Wally was like, "I want to fire David and hire this kid." And Wally believed in me.
That was the first enemy you made in radio.
And Daryl O'Neill, David and I are cool now.
Okay.
Daryl O'Neill was the owner of the station, and he thought that I was like this. I was this big star in the making. I was going to be his guy, and they believed in me. And maybe about 6 months later, Wally is like, "Hey, I'm moving to Dallas," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm out of here," and I'm like, "Fuck." So now the morning show's mine. And I'm just,
And how long have you been in it now? Like
maybe 6 months. And fuck. I'm telling you, I didn't have
Austin's a booming market now, right? Like it's great.
Yeah, and I didn't have a radio background. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was literally just telling dick jokes. That was like
on radio.
That was my thing.
Yeah.
And then I was watching the games and I'd talk about the games with the guys, but mostly I was just busting balls and making jokes. And the show was doing well. They put me in with this guy. We got a new program director, and his name was Eric Kalin, and he was a fucking asshole. And I had to host the show with him, and then they put me with Chip Brown, and Chip Brown and I didn't get along, and it was just a disaster. And then finally they moved me to afternoons, and I worked with Tepper for a while, and I worked with this guy named Greg Hinson, and I worked with a dude named Kevin Scott, really talented dude from Dallas. And then we had a great show going. And we got fired because our station got bought by Mormon bankers. And
what the fuck are Mormon bankers buying a radio show and a sports talk radio show? I don't know.
And we had the top show, and this is the first time. So we were the tiny station, and 1300 The Zone was like the giant juggernaut. This was the Longhorn station, and they just kicked the shit out of this bullshit station I was at forever until I got there. And we started winning for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And then they sold the station, and these dudes heard my show, and they were like, "You're fucking fired." And I was like,
"Talk about Jesus at all."
I was like, "What do you mean I'm fired? I'm what you got going here?
I'm doing good."
And I was like, "Dude, I'm gonna make you regret that. I'm gonna put you out of business."
But that's how you are, though. For people that don't know you, that's the one thing that I admired about you. Because when we had the Cage Door, and we ended up getting some competition, I'm the kind of guy that's like, I'm not going to waste my time. If you're going to try to make this difficult for me, I'll just go do something else. Fuck it. I don't have time for this. But you were like, fuck that. We're going to do everything. You're a competitor. You were always wanting to win. And that's a great thing, especially if you're doing radio.
Well, not just that. I want to win, but I want everybody else to lose.
Yeah, you are like that, for sure.
Which is apparently why Matt Thomas hates me.
Oh, Matt Thomas hates you?
Yeah, because a long time ago when we were doing middays, I said, I hope Matt Thomas is homeless and I hope his kids are starving in a cheese line. And apparently he still holds on to that. And that shit was 8 years ago.
Oh, boy.
So,
if you ever fire me, I'm so fucked because I have talked so much shit about 610 and 790 just because I'm a company man. I'm so fucked. I'll never get another job in this town.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I got news.
No. You're going through a tunnel. You're breaking up. What? I can't. What happened? Yeah, but that's part of the, I hope that most of those people know that it's about competition, right? It's about.
Well, Now that I don't compete head to head with Matt Thomas, I don't hope that he's homeless.
And see,
I hope his
love
kid
Matt
gets some
Thomas,
food.
and we compete against Matt. Joel and I compete against Matt Thomas, but I like the dude. I mean,
You love him?
I hope we beat him every month.
Him?
I am an admirer of what he does on the radio. I think he is good at his job.
Oh, you like his show?
Yeah. You don't like
I think that's the fucking worst thing about him. His show is terrible. Like, really? I don't know how that show's lasted. It's so fucking corny.
What's your ideal show? Like, I mean, I know the Blitz and all that, but like, you're a big Stern guy. Is that perfect radio to you?
Well, I mean, no, it's not. I mean, there's no perfect radio because it's whatever someone's into. But I feel like if you've Matt for your show that you've got everything written down, and this is what I'm going to do in this segment, and this is, and I, you know, when I tell you guys, like when I tell you when you're prepping your show, leave yourself plenty of wiggle room. Don't say, hey, at 15 after the hour, we're switching to this topic, because if you've got something that works, you want to stick with it. You want to ride momentum. If you've got something that doesn't work and it's like, oh, it says here I've got 2 segments of this, and after one segment you're like, what the fuck is this shit?
This is awful.
Boot on it. Punt on it. Don't do 2 segments on it if it sucks. So I hate regimented, formatted radio, which is probably a really horrible thing for someone who programs a radio station to say. No. But that's why I want to have around me, I want to have creative guys on my team. I want guys who understand when something's working to roll with it. When something's not working, eject from it. You know, that's the most important thing. And like, to me, Matt Thomas is like, it's cookie cutter radio. It's like, 42 after, I better play that, whatever that fucking game he plays it. What's the name of that game he plays at the end of his show?
I haven't listened in years.
You know what the fuck it is. I used to make fun of
I'm on the fucking air when he's on the air. I don't listen. No, I don't even. I listen. The as a comic and as a radio guy, I don't listen to.
Believe it or not.
Believe it.
Believe it. This show sucks. Believe it. Fuck.
Such a dick. Oh my God, you're such a dick. No, I don't listen to. Do you listen to other stations? I mean, you have to now as a PD.
I do,
but because you're listening to the competition. But as a radio guy, did you listen to your competitors?
I did when Tepper would ask me to. Tepper would be like, "Hey, give a listen to these guys, see what they're doing." But that's part of me also being competitive. Is I listen to the guys that I'm competing against and just say, "God, these guys fucking suck," and like I'm not gonna listen to the guys that I'm competing with and like take anything away from them. I don't want to be like them. I want to beat the shit out of them. So I don't want to like find some kind of common ground with Clint Sterner or Adam Clanton and Adam Wexler. I don't want anything to be about my show to be like their show. And if anything, I want them to listen to my show and say, "Fuck, this guy knows what he's doing. I want to do this." And if they don't, then fuck them, because they're wrong.
Your Clint Sterner, by the way, might be the best impression in radio right now. And look,
does a lot of good shit. But my Clint Sterner
Joel's Texas Hammer, Joel's Texas Hammer is fucking on point. Okay, and Lance's Phillip Rivers on a mobile is fucking on point. But your Clint Sterner, bro, every time I cannot not laugh at it. Like, Joel makes me laugh, and but god damn it, bro.
Dude, sometimes I do Clint Sterner, and it's hard for me not to laugh.
It's so good. It's the best. But so I don't listen because I don't want to end up doing what they do. It's the same thing in comedy. I don't watch a lot of comedy because I don't want to be like, oh, that's a funny premise. I'll write some jokes about that same idea. And so I stay in my bubble. I'm like, this is what I think is funny. This is what I think is creative. This is what I think is good radio. This is what I think people would want to hear. And I just have to trust that, because if I listen to the competition, then I might stoop down. Well, that's the wrong word. It's not stoop down, but I might
believe it.
I might lower my creative juices to whatever level they're at if I think it's right. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say I'm better than them by any stretch of the imagination, but I want to do what I think is creative and what people might like. So I don't listen at all. I mean, and then I even got to the point where I don't really want to listen to you guys or the bench, because I don't want to end up doing what y'all do or It's a fine line because I think people inevitably mimic what they hear.
Well, and the lamest thing, in our business is, my show comes on at 4:00 in the afternoon. A topic's been chewed on since 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So by the time I get on the air and I give my opinion on something, there's inevitably someone who's like, "Oh, you stole that take from so and so, some fucking John Lopez or whatever chuckle dick." And it's like, dude, first of all, I don't fucking listen to John Lopez. Second, and John Lopez is one of those guys that I hated because he was my competition at one point.
Yeah.
And I met him in Vegas. He seems like an all right guy.
He does. Everyone says it about him. I'm like, he's not great on the radio, but everyone's like, but he's so nice.
He seems like a really nice guy. I hate his show.
Yeah.
Well, I don't actually. I haven't even heard his show with Landry Locker, but they've had some success. I guess it's a good show. I haven't gotten a chance to hear it, but I don't like John on the radio, but he's a really nice guy, I've found. So I'm less of a dick to him than I probably was before.
Yeah.
That's my problem. Once I meet people and if I met Matt Thomas, I'd probably come around like, I guess he's a decent guy. I won't.
You would, because he is a super nice guy. I mean, I would see him at Astros games and we would hang out and talk, and I had been a fan of what he does on the radio because I thought he was funny. I think he's a funny dude. I think Matt Thomas is a funny guy. I grew up listening to sports talk radio, so I love John and Lance. And when I had Lance on, I told him, like, you were an inspiration for me once I got into radio. The same thing with Palillo. It's so weird, but I loved Palillo when I was listening to him and Rich Lord. And so I listen to all different kinds of radio and all different kinds of personalities. And I could be like, okay, not everybody has to be funny. Not everybody has to be entertaining. Not everybody has to be sportsy or smart or whatever. But there's there's guys that I don't.
Who don't you like?
Clanton.
Okay. Do you not like Clanton on the radio? Or
Both.
You don't like him personally?
Both. I think he's a cunt, and I think he's awful at radio.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Oh no, you missed it. Like the second time I ever did a live chat was me and John Wessling. We shit on Clanton for like 20, 30 minutes. And Wessling goes, oh, great. Tomorrow is the first tweet. Good morning to everybody except that guy with the widow's peak and that fat guy that's not in radio anymore. And we just knew that was going to happen. I don't know if it got back to him. Don't care.
Did it happen?
I don't know. Don't care. Like, he's the only guy in this entire market that I think is full of shit and I don't like. I've never met anyone that worked with him that liked him. How is that possible?
Well, what I say about Adam, and Adam is the guy I compete with now, and I've been around Adam before, and we don't have any I don't have any beef with Adam necessarily. But
we got into it on Twitter. That's why I say what I say.
But I want Adam to lose, and I'm pretty sure Adam knows I want him to lose because now he competes against me. So I don't have anything against Adam personally, but I want Adam to fucking lose. Adam Wexler's the same way. I like Adam Wexler. I've been around, I used to have him fill in at our station. I enjoy him. He's a good dude. But I want him to fail miserably. That's my goal is for him to fail. Yeah. Clint Sterner might be the fucking nicest guy. I'll never know it because
if you guys ever meet, y'all are gonna fight. He's gonna fight you.
I hope he does. You know what? That'd be the fucking best if Clint Sterner fought me. Hey man. Let me fucking tell you something, man.
Somebody give me some milk and some gloves. It is on.
God damn. The best thing that ever happened to me was when that fucking Arkansas milk commercial fell into my lap. I mean, it's
a thing
just
of beauty,
gold.
Dude. It was a thing of beauty.
It's fucking gold.
Yeah.
It is gold.
It's funny because I try to, me, I'm even when we had the cage door and we had competition, I try to get along with people. With the Clanton, it was one of those things, and I told the story in the past, so I won't rehash it. What? Who did I try to get?
You're a bitter motherfucker.
Oh, no. Don't mistake me. Once I hate you, that's it. That's game over. But I'll try to get along. I'm nice to people. If once you piss me off and it becomes to the point where I'm like, fuck that dude, it's fuck that dude forever. I'm team fuck that dude for life.
Sometimes you're fuck that dude over some bullshit.
I think we all have our reasons to be petty.
Bro, think about this. Tell me why you hate Cody Phillips.
Oh God, I don't even remember. That was so long
You
ago.
don't even remember?
Yeah, that was so long ago.
It was some petty bullshit.
No, I remember something.
I think it was about real estate, honestly, because both of you were trying to be a real estate agent or something.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I did. You told me that one time, and I was like, yeah, I do need to get better at not holding a grudge, because that is a big character flaw of mine. But I'm also like team fuck off. Like if I don't like you, I'm team fuck off forever. Like that's it.
All right.
But it'll take me a while to get there. I'll put up with some bullshit, like with Columbus. I put up with a lot of bullshit. And then once I got to team fuck off, it was fuck off forever. That was it. I was done. So, and that was like with Clanton, that's what it was. It was like, he took some cheap shots and tried to make everything look like it wasn't. And I was like, fuck that dude. I'm done with that dude already. So yeah, but otherwise, everybody else in the market, I love. And I think whatever, either I love or I don't care. I'm apathetic, so it doesn't bother me. But he's like the one guy.
I'm apathetic about almost everybody. I just want them to lose their jobs. That's all.
It's not apathetic though.
I want them to find. I hope they've saved money and they have a nice nest egg, so they don't go homeless. And I want them to find nice jobs with okay pay in a different industry,
somewhere else,
but
different market.
Yeah, just not radio or not in this, or they can move to a different market, and then I'm
you're
cool
good.
with them.
By the way, Westling is in the chat now. He goes, "Just poke my head in. Y'all are blasting Clanton. It's gonna happen from time to time. I mean, it's whatever. it's fine."
Yeah.
Connor Hogan is in. Yeah, you brought out all the celebrities, bro. Like, look at you.
Connor Hogan's not a celebrity. He's like a fucking drunk guy.
Man, the chat is off. I haven't even had a chance to keep up because we've been enthralled in this conversation.
Why can't I see the chat?
I don't know. I got to figure that out. I mean, you could go to Facebook. Like, I think a lot of these are.
I don't have Facebook. We went over.
Oh, yeah, you did. You got rid of
it. Can you post it on my Adam Dunn batting practice video?
All the chat. I'll just copy and paste. I'll text you all the chat messages. I'm sure you'll stay up all night.
That's what I was hoping you'd say.
Somebody don't correct Barry's spelling. Yeah, now that you can be on team fuck off at that point.
Fuck off for life. Is that what happened? Adam Clanton fucking grammar police?
No, I'll tell the story one more time and then I won't tell it anymore in these live chats. But basically, you remember that chick that said if Verlander throws a no-hitter, I'll get a dick tattoo somewhere on my body. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
So I was like, that's hilarious. I didn't even know it was a thing. Patrick Randall, one of our listeners, a suspect, was like, hey, bro, did you see this? This is pretty funny. You should have her on your show. So I saw the tweet. I was like, oh, that is funny. She's going to have to get a dick tattoo because he threw a no-no. So I hit her up on Twitter like a radio guy would do. Hey, I thought this was funny as shit. Somebody sent this to me. You want to come do the show? So she obviously, like every other radio dude in the country would do, messaged her and was like, hey, come do the show. And let's talk about your dick tattoo.
I didn't message her, by the way.
Okay. Well,
because I knew that shit was played out.
You're so much. It was that fucking same night. Fuck you. Fuck you. So she screenshots a few of them. She's like, "Oh my god, y'all, I'm dying right now," because she's getting guys that are like, "Hey, come do the radio show," and this is funny. Well, Clanton, Mr. Holier Than Thou, was like, oh, don't worry. I won't slide in your DMs. And like started like, oh, all these guys. It's like, bro, it's fucking radio. This is what we do. It's a segment. It's content, right? Like, go fuck yourself. You're not better than us. And then I was like, why are you trying to make it like we're doing something creepy? He's like, oh, you said creepy. I didn't say, nah, bitch, you implied that we were trying to slide in her DMs and make it creepy. Go fuck yourself. So after he did that, I was like,
was it. You're like, fuck you forever.
I was like, he's a cunt. Fuck that guy. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there's a point where if you're in this business, you know what this business is about. And then there's I'm going to try to be cool. I'm going to try to say things that I know aren't true or aren't real just to look cool. And that's what he did. So I was like, all right, fuck that dude. I don't fuck with him.
If you had the chance, would you fight Adam Clanton?
I'm 45. I don't fight anymore.
I'm just saying,
if I was 35, I would fight.
If it was just like the two of you and you each had one of your boys there, and there's no cops, nobody around, and he's like, you want to fucking settle this right now? Would you fucking settle it with Adam?
I'm 45. Clanton? I don't fight anymore. I'm 45 years old. You're 39. When you're 45, your old fat ass ain't gonna be fighting anymore. You got those badass knees as it is, and you ain't even 40 yet.
I'm not having beef with people that are trying to.
Really? Let Clint Sterner catch you at the rodeo, bitch. It's on.
Okay.
I'll fuck you up.
Bro, you scared by a dog. I ain't scared.
I ain't scared either. I'm just too old to be fighting. I can't. By the way, Connor goes, oh, he's a drunk guy while pouring a beer. A+.
I didn't say I wasn't a drunk guy.
He just said, yeah.
Connor. I'm just saying you're not a celebrity. You're just a regular, not famous drunk guy.
No, dude, my fighting days and all, because like 10 years ago when we started the Cage Door, when we had the Cage Door. What if
Adam Clanton poked you in the chest?
I'd probably fight him at that point.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I might be like, I might sell some wolf tickets. Be like, bro, you don't know me, like, you know what I mean? I don't know, dude. I'm 45.
You better hope I'm not your buddy that's there with you, because I'm gonna fucking make you fight.
There comes a point, and I'm
gonna shame you.
Well, you do that every day. What the fuck are you talking about? You whiskey shamed me last week, motherfucker. What would be different? There's a point in a grown man's life where you're like, I'm too old to fight anymore. And I'm at that point. I'm 45. I'm fat. I'm old. I'm tired. I don't give a fuck. I don't need to prove my manhood anymore. That's why I drink whiskey and Diet Coke. Like, I don't.
Bro,
that's
how I know when I fucking pissed you off. If it's a joke, you'll quote tweet me and say something back. If you're pissed off, you're like, fuck you, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck what you say. And then that's it. Like, you reply, and of course, people follow both of us, see it, and they start commenting on it, and then you're pissed off at them.
Oh my god!
Which I know now you're more pissed off at me, because now I've opened the fucking box.
No,
and people are.
The worst is when I'll do something and then you'll make a comment and it gets more likes than the original. I'm like, man, fuck that motherfucker.
When you had the cup on your face, and I said, "Hey, everybody, give him some charity likes." And you're like, you cocksucker.
That was funny though. That was sometimes I don't if I'm not mad, sometimes I won't quote tweet you either. I'll just reply.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one was funny though. Yeah, I wasn't mad about that. I thought that was funny.
You were mad about the Crown Royal, but not that one?
I wasn't mad as much as I was like, what the fuck do you care? Like, why you
I don't care. I just like to bust
I know. Oh my god. Yes, 1,000%. Anybody? like I said, we've been friends for a decade. This I know. But it's when you get everybody else that don't know me that piles on. It's like, okay, motherfucker, I don't know you. Why do you drink it like that? What was my response? How about you drink the whiskey the way you like it? I'll drink it the way I like it, and we can all fuck off together. How about that?
So that's what people don't understand about me. Like, if I bust your balls, it means that I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm fucking around with you because I like you.
Right.
This was literally almost the end of me and Joel's relationship. Like,
I had to explain that to him.
Joel was like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And maybe you should talk to him about it on one of these things. I don't know if he's going to be on.
Oh, he's next week. Next week, Joel and I, we're going to talk about, we're going to get into our relationship and how much we hated each other. Totally. And then I've got Lisa the week after, and I'm going to find out how much she hated me. It's going to be great, man.
Oh, how much she hates you or him?
Me. Bro, you're such a dick.
You know she hates him. You know she hates Joel.
See, this is what happens. You see? This is how much you like
Joel,
him.
This is why, like, Joel, everyone thought that, I guess Joel thought that I fucking hated him because I was busting his balls. Mm-hmm. And I know Joel hated me because I was busting his balls. But, like, I was just, that's just how I am. I fuck with people. I make jokes about people.
And to his credit, he didn't know how to handle it at first. But he has gotten so much better. And, him and I are in a much better place. And him and I talked, about it. And so now he's a lot better at it. But on occasion, you'll say something and I'll pull him aside and be like, he was just fucking with you. He was just, because I can tell when you're being a dick or when you're just fucking with somebody. And so I'll be like, oh, he was just fucking with you. He was, let it, don't worry about it because he didn't mean it. And sure most of the time, that's true.
Like, I'm sure, like, deep down in his psyche, Joel's still like, fuck that guy. I fucking hope he gets hit by a train.
Well, here's the thing, because when you do it, you're fucking with somebody, but then a lot of times people, that's not their personality. So if I come in and, like, the other day, like, if I see you, I'm like, bro, why are you wearing all those dad clothes and you're fat or whatever? You and I will just go back because that's how we are. And we know that about each other. But if somebody else, if that's not their personality, and
like I would say, why are you wearing those kid clothes? Why are you wearing your son's jeans?
Yeah, exactly. And we'll go back and forth, and it's not a big deal. And I'll be like, well, the last person I'm taking fashion advice from is you, because you're wearing, you know what I mean? But we're okay with that. But man, some folks aren't like that. And that's where you get fucked up is like you'll fuck with somebody that doesn't come from that kind of background. And then it makes them mad.
I do.
And you don't know. And your problem is once you know they're mad, oh, that's fucking, you're like a pit bull. Like you got a hold of the neck now. Oh, it's over. Yeah, it's not cool.
Show weakness, it's over.
See, that's it. That's why I'm like, Joel, don't let him know you're angry. I used to tell him that. Don't let him know that got into your skin. He's like, nah, fuck him, whatever. I don't care.
I feel like Joel and I get along.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because I don't know if Joel just like fucking puts on a brave face and like, you know, he doesn't.
We actually talked about it today. We actually talked about it today because on the show somebody was like, "Oh, tonight when you live chat with AJ, ask him about him and Joel," which I had no plans to do. It just fucking, you know, we're just shooting the shit. It's whatever.
It's organic conversation.
Yeah, and I was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." And Joel even said, he was like, "Yeah, you guys, that was 3 years ago. Like we're in a whole different spot now. I don't hate AJ. He doesn't hate me. Like it's." You know, it's a whole different dynamic. So, but that does let you know at one point he thought y'all hated each other. So he hated you. Yeah, I don't know if you hated him, but
he definitely hated me. I didn't hate him, but I also at the time I didn't respect him because I thought he was being a pussy. And if I think you're a pussy, I probably don't respect you.
Yeah.
And to his credit, Joel has earned my respect because he got to the point where he could adjust and he understood, you know, like you can fuck with each other and not take everything personally, and not everything is like meant is to like fucking hurt feelings. Sometimes it's just making jokes.
But you when you bust balls, and this is what I had to get used to with you, and it's still to this day. And dude, I tell people all the time, like I'm around comics, I'm around guys like Wesley. Billy D gets on this live chat. First thing he says is, "Damn, bro, you got fat as fuck over quarantine." Like you just know that comics are gonna fuck with each other, so you get used to it. But bro, like your level of fucking with people, it's either 0 or 10. You don't have just like a you really, and I think
I got in a lot of fights when I was a kid.
I was gonna say.
Like a lot of people like
why, but what caused that? Was it like was it insecurity as a kid?
No, the problem is I just don't switch up my style for the room. I don't always read the room. I am who I am, and I just put it out there. And some people don't like it.
Yeah.
And I've always, like my entire life, I've either been someone that was like, I think I'm hard to be neutral on. I think people either really, really dig what I do. They dig my style. They think I'm funny, or people are like, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy.
Like
fuck
all
that
of
guy.
Houston comedy.
All of Houston comedy is basically fuck that guy, and that's okay. Because,
so funny.
But I also know comedians take themselves too fucking seriously.
Yeah. We are a very sensitive bunch.
Comedians can't fucking stand if someone is making a joke at their expense.
Yep.
Like they're the fucking, I'm the king in the castle. I make the fucking jokes here, buddy. And you know, think about this. I didn't even fucking remember that kid. That what's his name?
Joe Bates.
Joe Bates. I didn't remember fucking Joe Bates. I got asked to host or to fucking judge
this is such a funny ass
a comedy contest, and Joe Bates was a horrible comedian, and maybe he's gotten better.
He's so bad.
He's bad.
No, I said he's not bad. You say horrible,
okay.
But again, you're very extreme.
Is,
either everybody is great or horrible. There's no he was new. He was a year in. He was learning.
At the time, he was horrible.
What did you tell him?
He might have gotten better.
No,
I legitimately thought that he had special needs. So that's why I would have been harder on him if I knew he was a fully functioning adult, mentally fully functioning. I didn't know that, so I didn't bust his balls too much. But he was bad. Maybe he got better. Now he got to be on the fucking Bob and Tom show And he got to fucking host the Ha Ha Shack in Columbus, Ohio. Like, oh, fuck. You're the man now.
I would like to work there one day. Don't fucking disparage the good name.
But, like, I guarantee you, and I get it now. I mean, I get that comedy, you guys are a circle, and everybody protects each other in that circle. Mm-hmm. I get that. If he wasn't in the comedy circle, you guys wouldn't have fucking pretended like he was funny. Like, he wasn't funny at that time. He might have been funny now. I don't know. I haven't heard him since he sounded like he was handicapped. But at the time, if I asked serious comedians to give a serious critique of that kid's comedy, they would say, this is dog shit. But because he's in the circle, nobody in the circle likes to shit on each other. Because if you have a bad show, you don't want somebody else in the circle to say you fucking suck.
Well, no, so, some of it is how hard it is. Like, how comedy is not easy. You said you did it for a little while.
No, and it's not easy.
You realize how difficult it can be. That sure. You're bad more often than you're good, especially when you first start and you're learning. And I don't. The reason comics don't judge is because nobody just starts off being great. And so you realize that everybody's works. It's like radio. Like when I first started radio, the first time I ever did Houston Game Day on a Sunday, to now, I'm way better at radio, and I still have a long ways to go to being great at radio. But I'm getting better. So it's almost, if you think of it in those terms, how were you at radio when you started versus now? A year in, if someone would have judged you and how you were on radio, would that have been a fair assessment of you and your abilities? Probably not.
At the time,
if they would have been like, is this guy a fucking, like, is he just a douchebag? Does he not know how to do radio? Kind of the equivalent, right? Like, you thought he was handicapped. You thought he was. That's so fucked up.
Barry.
You thought he was handicapped.
What I'll say about it is this. He did a contest called Houston's Funniest Person. Mm-hmm. Okay, if I'm learning to fucking paint, and I've been painting for 6 months, I'm not gonna join fucking Houston's Best Painter contest because I'm not a fucking great painter yet. I'm not gonna make myself look like an asshole. That guy made himself look like a fucking asshole because he wasn't funny yet. And comedians of all people should fucking know. Like, that contest at the time was a pretty prestigious deal.
It was a very big deal.
It was a big deal to be named Houston's Funniest Person.
Very big deal.
So if people were showing up there and they weren't funny, it's almost offensive to the guys that have fucking worked hard to get to that spot. You know what I mean? So it would have been like, to me, it would have been like when you worked on Houston Game Day on Sunday mornings, you did Sunday morning radio, you putting yourself, like, nominating yourself for best radio host in Houston. You're fucking learning, bro.
Yeah.
You're learning. You ain't fucking there yet. You're learning how to do this game. And that dude was learning how to do the game. He had a lot to learn. And he took it hard that I told him at the time he had a lot to learn. That's what I was basically saying, is you ain't there yet.
Yeah, but you did it in typical AJ Hoffman. You can't just be like,
what are you going to do?
You can't be like, hey, bro, you'll get him next time. It's all right, Corky.
Hey, son. Good job. Real good job there, buddy. You'll get them next time.
But no, I will say, when it comes to comics and how we judge our fellow comedians, there is a line, kind of like in radio, because there's a point where you're like, all right, you see that somebody can be funny or will be funny down the line. They just need to get the reps. Same thing in radio. You can see somebody and go, all right, eventually this guy is going to be good at radio. He just needs to get the reps and get a few bumps and bruises and learn, and he'll get better. And then there's some people that are just like, all right, this guy's never going to be good, but they want to be in it. But they want to do it. They love it. And that's a radio too, right?
Right.
So if you see a guy that's like, well, I'm doing something in radio and there's a contest, then they're going to get into it. It's almost not fair to say you can't do it. Just know that you're not going to be good at it yet. And that was why he was in Rock the Mic.
Here's why, and this is why the Houston comedy scene was mad at me about that.
Oh, they fucking hate you so much.
Me
too. Like, I'm in there. So
yeah. If I would have just been some dude with fucking 84 Twitter followers who said Joe Bates sucked, nobody would have cared. But because I had a platform that honestly is bigger than a lot of Houston comedians' platform is, and I said that he sucked, they felt like, oh fuck, here's some guy who thinks he's funny, which that's the other thing. And you might disagree with this. I know you probably will, but it's true.
I'll be honest with you.
Comedians think if you're not a comedian, you can't be funny.
That is absolutely not true. Not from my perspective. Most comedians do. I don't believe that because I think Lance is hilarious and he's not a comedian. I think that I just told you I thought Matt Thomas was funny. I think you are one of the funniest people I know. And I've told you that. You're one of the funniest people I've ever met. You're also not a comedian. Do I think you could be funny on stage? Probably not because it's a different thing. I think you could over time. Do I think you could go up tomorrow and do a 5-minute set and crush? No. Because most people don't, even if they're fucking hilarious. But I do think people can be funny that aren't comics. I absolutely believe that.
But you agree that there's a lot of comedians who think if you're doing something, and
it's an arrogant bunch. It can be when it comes to comedy.
Every fucking comedian, and you're lucky because you are, but every comedian thinks they should be on the radio. They think that they should have a fucking radio show because they're funny. And
there's a lot, yeah.
And also every comedian thinks they can do radio. Just like I can't stand up on a stage and do fucking 20 minutes of great comedy. I guarantee you put a fucking average Joe comedian on a microphone for 3 hours, they'll shit their pants. Yeah. They can't do it. They can't do it. They're not interesting enough, most of them. Yeah. I shouldn't say any because there are some. So because I have a platform and I said one of their people sucked, they got mad at it.
Yeah.
The reality is a lot of them knew I was right and they didn't want to fucking admit it.
It's a pack mentality, right? Like if
it is,
it's a pack, but
and I get it.
It's radio, like right? Like if we attack, like what I said about Clanton, I fully expected if it gets back to him or somebody, that whole station's going to be like, all right, fuck Barry, he's an asshole, right? Until they're gone.
You tell me somebody sucks on the radio, I'll say, oh, cool. You think he sucks? I think this guy sucks.
Yeah.
I told you I think Matt sucks. That's okay. Matt might be a nice guy. I don't think he's very good at radio. Okay. Oh, I shouldn't say he's not very good at radio. He doesn't entertain me on the radio. So but
it's a pack mentality, right? Like we're gonna if somebody talks shit about Palillo, we're all gonna be like, hey, don't talk shit about Palillo. Like that's our dude, and that's what it was, just on a bigger scale because it's a whole scene in a really big city. Which our comedy scene is one of the better scenes in the country as far as the talent that we have. It's just we don't have the clubs and the industry. But when Houston comics go on the road, the level of respect that we get is way more than most other cities because it's harder to do comedy here.
Also, I don't generally shit on comics because I know it's fucking tough.
Yeah.
And I enjoy comedy. I'm a fan of comedy. I'll say this, that Joe Bates I'd long forgotten him.
Yeah.
I'd long forgotten him. The reason why he got a second round of it is because he brought me back into his life.
Well, you obviously scarred him.
I did, but that's on him, not on me.
Well,
that's on him.
I mean, you said he was mentally challenged.
I thought he was, legitimately.
Well, that's team fuck off at that point.
And listen,
you tell me I'm mentally challenged, you immediately go on team fuck off.
Now answer this. Okay. With 100% certainty, can you say that he's fully not mentally challenged?
Yes.
You don't know.
There are mentally challenged people doing comedy. I can tell you with 100%. Now, I'll be honest, too. I've never thought Joe Bates was hilarious. I never thought he was a really funny guy. But that was also years ago when I first started and he was first starting. So he may be hilarious now, but he wasn't a comic. He wasn't a comic that I looked at and went, that dude's funny. Because there are comedians now.
I want to be like him.
Yeah, there are comedians now that I look at and think, fuck, I wish I was as funny as Trey Tutson or Grady Pruitt or Victor Tran or these guys that are, they're a year maybe behind me or more, but they're coming up and they're way funnier than me already. You know, and you can see that they have the potential to be a star one day. He just wasn't that guy for me, but that's just me. And comedy is so subjective. It's hard to judge. The difference is it's hard for you not to be a dick when you see something like that. Like you could have just not said anything.
Well, I was a judge. It was my job, Barry. They asked me to judge.
Yeah, but you could have just been like, next. But no, you have to be like, hey, Corky.
You know what? And while we're at it, this will probably piss you off, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm giving you. This is how I'm giving you credit.
Okay.
When we used to do a podcast with the Cage Door,
Uh-huh.
It was a pretty funny show. A lot of people, I don't know where those episodes are. They're probably long gone. But I didn't think of you as a funny guy. Like, I always thought of you as a fun guy to be around, but I always thought of you as kind of like a straight dude. And when you said I'm going to do
thought I was gay? Wait a minute,
comedy,
straight dude. Wait,
no,
what?
no,
Oh, you meant the straight guy in comedy? Okay.
Yeah, I like.
You suck one dick,
so when you were
and then, geez, all of a sudden you're labeled.
Well, when it's my dick, I know.
Fuck you.
But I did, like, when you told me I'm going to do stand-up comedy, I was like, oh, all right, man, get it. and I'll be honest, like, you far exceeded any expectations I had, and I mean that in the most genuine way possible. It's like you worked hard at it, and you're a really funny dude, and your act is great. I enjoy it. I watch it when I can. I respect you as a comedian, but when you told me you were going into comedy, I didn't have high expectations. I'm not gonna lie, because you weren't the funny guy on our podcast. No. That wasn't your job. You weren't supposed to be the funny guy. So I mean that in a way to give you kudos that, you know, you've put in a lot of work at this shit, and where you've gotten is further than I would have expected you to. So I appreciate that. I credit you for that.
And that doesn't make me mad at all. You know, you've always been one of those guys that, and everybody needs a person like this in their life, where you're never going to tell me something I want to hear. As a friend, you're never going to be like, oh, you're going to be a great comedian. You're like, you're going to have to work. You're not funny.
I'm honest to a fault with people. Yeah. And it's cost me friendships before. But I don't like to fucking blow smoke up people's ass. I don't like to tell people, oh, I mean, hell, when you started radio, I told you, dude, this is a fucking hard job, man. This ain't as easy as you think it is. It's a fucking hard job.
I told the story I've told it millions of times about how I came to you one day. I was like, hey, you should put me on the radio. And you were like, it don't work like that, bro. And that was your way of saying, no, you're not good. You're not going to be good. And you were like, go win Rock the Mic, and then we'll see what happens. And that was kind of you saying,
and you did.
But you didn't think I would win it, and that's fine. I respect that, because you were probably like, I mean, he's, you know, whatever. But I appreciate that, because there's people that are nice to a fault, and there are people that are mean to a fault, and there are people that are honest to a fault, and all of those can be bad for you, right? But yes. The one thing I do appreciate about you, whether I want to hear it or not, you're going to tell me what you perceive to be the truth. Whether I think it's the truth or not, whether it's the truth or not, you're going to tell me from your perspective, and that's fine. I mean, that's how you know that you have a legitimate friend, because it's like some people are just going to, in comedy, boy, there's a lot of people blowing smoke up a lot of people's asses that
right.
They should be like, hey, you should quit. But they don't.
You're one of two people that I knew going into Rock the Mic, and you won it, obviously. The other guy that I knew was Syed, who is, you know, he's a fucking funny dude.
Syed's a funny dude, man.
And I suggested to him, dude, you got to do this. And he knows sports, but he's just a funny guy. And he's not a comedian. He works at a fucking IHOP. But this guy he knows how to make people laugh. And he knows how to, he's like Borat. He'll make a fool of himself to get the laugh.
Yep.
Which I fully respect. I love it. That's the kind of comedy that works for me. That Borat, that's one of my favorite, like the greatest comedy movies of all time, because it's a guy making a fucking fool of himself for a laugh.
Getting naked.
And Syed made it to the finals, and it broke my heart at the finals, because he was not the best guy. In the finals, he choked, and he just sucked that day. And it devastated me, because if he had a great performance on that day, I think he could be in this business now too. He did not. You did. And you started at a spot where, listen, it would have been easy to fucking quit. You were doing a show you were driving in for no money.
For a year, and then got paid for a year, and then didn't get paid for a year.
Yeah, trust me. Yeah. My first year on radio, I made $12,000.
What?
I always get my W-2, where it's like, it shows you what you make year by year, And that thing makes me smile so much because I went from making six figures working offshore on an oil rig to the year I went to college where I worked at I worked at a bar, like a jersey store. And those 2 years I made no money. And then my first year of radio, I made $12,000 to where I'm at now. And it's like, dude, it just shows you that if you, and dude, I could still be working on an oil rig and I could be making six figures and killing it. And there's people on that fucking oil rig who didn't have a high school diploma and had eight fingers and we're making six figures. It's legitimately positive. It's the American dream.
Yep.
But if you want to do something you love, it takes work, and you got to fucking grind at the beginning, and it's not just going to be handed to you. And I know it wasn't for you either. I know that it was a tough bit for you to get there.
It's been a grind because, like you in IT, I was killing it. I mean,
yeah.
But I love this. I love what I do right now so much. I love where I'm at in my life. I get to do radio and I get to do comedy, and I couldn't be happier. And so, does it suck that I don't make what I did in IT? Sure. But I'm like, I told my wife when I started this, because she was like, so you're going to do radio and comedy full time? I was like, stick with me. You know me. If I put my mind to something, I'm going to eventually figure this shit out. So I was like, it might take me 5, 6, 8 years, 10 years. I don't know. But I'm going to be successful at this. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm going to give it everything I got. Right. And so you realize that it's going to be the grind. By the way, I pointed at the screen because guess who just checked in? Syed.
Oh, nice.
He said, hola, amigos. That's not your language of choice, Syed. Don't even try. Yeah, dude, like Christian Sutton is in. Mahalo. No, that's Hawaiian. By the way.
Isn't Syed a Jew? Syed's a Jew.
Yeah, he is. He's Jewish. He's Syed
a Zionist.
Jamal. He's Jewish. He's a black Jew. He's Syed Jamal. That's a black Jewish guy. By the way, Alvaro in the chat said, whose chin would win in a fight between y'all? I'm going to go with your mom's chin, Alvaro. Yeah. See, you don't come into a chat with us and try to fucking roast us and not expect a little shit talking. Bro, it's 8:35. I had no idea. This just flew by. Is
this over? Is it over?
I mean, you got anything that you needed? I just wanted to hang out with you and bullshit for a minute. This was
here
awesome.
We are.
Yeah, I got to go make ribs. The wife's going to be home soon. Dude, I got me a fucking Instapot, and it is the best. I don't make ribs on the grill. That takes too long.
You make them in the Instapot?
Yes, player, and they are delicious.
That's gross, dude.
No, I'm telling you, I'm gonna bring you a rib. I'm gonna make them tonight. I'm gonna save it, and then in July when we're back at the station, I'm gonna bring you that rib that I saved from now.
I won't eat it. How are
you just gonna say? Amanda says, "Team, fuck off." How are you just gonna say that you won't eat it? That's like, how do you know until you try it? What if your kids did that? You would be like, you gotta at least try it once, right?
No. I tell my kids, hey, eggplant's fucking gross. Don't eat it.
Have you ever had eggplant?
I'm trying to set them up for life. Yeah, I've had eggplant.
I've never had eggplant, and I'll tell people it's gross. It just fucking looks and sounds gross.
Yeah, man. You let people know. So hey, they don't. The whole point of being a parent is making sure your kids don't make the same mistakes you do.
Oh, I like to see them make the mistakes if I had kids.
And I'll be like, man, I fucking ate an eggplant one time. That shit was gross. Don't do it. Don't, even if it says eggplant parmesan and you think it's going to come out like chicken parmesan or veal parmesan, it ain't. It's fucking eggplant. Don't eat it.
I've never had eggplant. What does it taste like?
It tastes like fucking, I don't know. It's bad. It's fucking gross.
Well,
so that's me telling you. It tastes like, you know what it tastes like? It tastes like Instapot ribs.
Well, I'm going to go make me some.
That's what eggplant tastes like.
I'm going to make me some eggplant ribs. You can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Dude, I appreciate you sitting down, man. This was awesome. I'm glad you did it. It was cool just to fucking kick it. Like I'm going crazy in this house every day. I only get out one day a week, and it just drives me nuts. So I was like, I just got to talk to people. So this was cool, man. I appreciate it.
You doing any exercising?
Yeah, bro. Look at that. That's a whole lot. Are you?
But you know what? Even when you're in shape, your fucking face looks like that. Like, I mean, we did that. You remember in Dallas when we did that fucking jiu-jitsu tournament?
Oh my God!
Like we were all starved beyond anything.
That was the
normal
skinniest I've been
be.
in 20 years when we did that jiu-jitsu tournament.
And you still had 2 chins. So it's.
If I was a rapper, that'd be my name, 2 Chins. I wouldn't be 2 Chains. I'd be 2 Chins. Yeah.
Dude, I remember we walked to the fucking jiu-jitsu tournament from the hotel, and it was like hobos trying to fuck with us, and I was like, dude, I hope no one tries to fight me right now because I'm depleted. I got nothing. There's nothing in my body right now. Like, and that was every time I made weight, it was like, if I had to fight right now, like if I had ever had to fight, I fought 5 times. Once I fought at heavyweight, which was the best.
Yeah.
That was the best.
Because you're fat, so yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fought once at 205 because I had a late opponent replacement, and that's the time I got the shit beat out of me. Every other time I fought at 185, I remember thinking to myself, the 3 times, I was like, fuck, if I had to fight right now, like I couldn't fight my sister right now at 185. Like my sister would beat the fuck out of me now at 185 pounds.
If you've never cut weight, and I'm glad I went through it once because I was doing jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and all that just because we were covering the sport. And so I was like, this isn't like football where you can't go out on the field and understand what the athletes go through. I can do this. I was awful at jiu-jitsu. I had three, like, I don't know. I think I went like 10 times total to Travis Took's classes. And then the last class, right before the jiu-jitsu tournament, my buddy snapped my elbow. Connor remembers that because he was like, yeah, that was Barry with AIDS. And but that's when I was like, all right, fuck jiu-jitsu. I'm not fucking with this stuff. And then you broke that dude's ankle at the tournament. And I was like, yeah, this is not good.
That was the best.
I'm not doing this. I medaled though.
I broke that guy's leg in half, and he looked me dead in the face and said, I'll see you in the gi round. And I was like, no, your leg is fucked. You're going into an ambulance now. Your
foot is next to you. You can't be holding your foot.
Your foot touched your knee.
You're
not gonna fight me again. Yeah. But he was adamant. Like as they were hauling him off, like
I'll be back.
See you.
No, next
I'm
year,
gonna get your ass back. No.
I medaled and I lost and medaled. That's how awesome jiu-jitsu tournaments are. Remember that? I got smoked in the gi in my gi match. I got fucking smoked. Dude came out and I was not ready for his aggression. He grabbed me and fucking whooped me around. I mean, it was 10 seconds. And if you'd have seen Travis Took's face, he was almost like, bitch, take the patch off. Take my patch off. That was fucking embarrassing. Take off the tees right now. Don't even tell him that you trained with me. But the gi round, I mean, I made it all the way through the end of the match. He won on points. But I lost to that dude, and he ended up winning, and there was only 3 of us. So there was 4 of us.
Because he lost to the champion.
Yeah, it was 4 of us. So I lost to the champ, so I got a medal. I medaled. I'm a jiu-jitsu star, AJ. You're just going to have to
still have that medal?
I don't know where it is, but I didn't throw that bitch away. That's the only. Are you kidding me? Oh, no. I mean, dude, I fully admit I loved Muay Thai. I loved that. I thought I was pretty good at Muay Thai. I was just too old and out of shape, but I love Muay Thai. I remember the first time I ever got punched in the face, I actually liked it. I was like, oh, fuck. This is fun.
That was the worst for me because, like, I remember thinking, and even my coaches would tell me that I was especially talented at jiu-jitsu, and I thought they were like, they were serious. And it's like, dude, this is some shit you should have got into when you were younger. Mm-hmm. And I think I may have lost 2 or 3 matches as a white belt ever. And I probably won. I've got a fucking an empty drawer somewhere full of 15 or 16 gold medals.
You put them on sometimes, don't you? You're just like if the wife and kids leave, you just get naked. No, you put on your gi and all your medals.
The wife is there.
Oh,
when the wife is there,
sex
that's
move?
when we make love. Wearing my medals. And I remember thinking, oh my God, jiu-jitsu is the easiest thing. But then it turned out like I was the only white belt who got taught how to leg lock people.
Really?
And I just leg locked the shit out of everybody. And every other gym thought that was like dirty and shitty. And my coach was like, if they say dirty, who get the medal, you or them? And I say, well, if they say it was dirty, I win. He's like, you're the champion. Fuck them. And
I love Macaco.
so I just took. I took that attitude and I just fucking leg locked everybody, every white belt. And
standing leg locks, like Connor called it. A standing fucking leg lock. Done, son.
Didn't fucking matter. And then as I became a purple belt, and I was like, oh shit, everybody knows leg locks, and I'm not that great at jiu-jitsu anymore. But when that same coach Makako was like, when he was teaching me for MMA, and he was like, hey, you hit him, he hit you. You hit him, he hit you. And I was like, dude, I can't do this. This ain't me. I need to, I want to find a way to hit him where he can't hit me back.
Yeah, this sucks.
I said, Coach, I love you. I got to find a different striking coach because your way can get me fucked up.
Makako would eat 5 punches to land one, and that is not a recipe I want to put. No, that's not
so
something I want
had to
do.
find a whole new coach for my striking because I didn't want to get. I wanted about that getting hit in the face.
Is that when you went to Jace Petrie?
Jace, and honestly, in 5 fights, I got hit clean. Well, the fight that I lost, I got hit clean many times in the face because my ACL blew and I couldn't stand up. And Chris Reed, God rest his soul, stay in the fight and take punches until my face was mangled.
That's the best thing Chris Reed ever did. Let you get fucked up for a little while. He did that for everybody. He did. Oh, by the way, Fritz Fowler's in the chat. But he did that for me and Fritz and Christian and Connor. All of your friends. We were like, yeah, let him get his ass whooped a little, Chris.
So that fight, I remember, everyone told me, oh, he hit so hard. He hit so hard. And he hit me the first time, and I was like, dude, this guy doesn't hit that fucking hard. And then we fought for maybe 30, 40 seconds, and then my knee buckled, and he started hitting me on the ground. And I was like, oh, my God, he hit so fucking hard. And I remember, it's okay. I'm just going to fucking grab his leg and I'm going to I'm going to break his foot. And then he pulled his foot out of my arm and I said, oh, fuck. And he kept hitting me in the face. And I was like, at this point, I was like, the worst thing that could happen to you if you're a fighter is to tap to strike.
Oh.
And I was like.
Were you close?
No, I wasn't. But I was like, I'm not going to tap the strikes, but God damn it, I can't do anything. I can't fucking stand up.
Did you just start yelling, help?
I have to get punched in the face until Chris Reed stops this thing.
Until he's had enough of watching you get your ass whooped.
Oh, my God. He watched me get the fuck beat out of me.
Oh, that's so funny, dude.
That was the worst.
This has been great, dude. And Connor Hogan, rest in peace to Chris Reed. Absolutely.
For real,
Chris was the best, man. He was the best. Dude, this was great. This was like old times. We never get to do this anymore because you're the boss and during the day and we have different shows and all that. But this was a lot of fucking fun, man. Yeah,
it was good, man. Appreciate you having me on, bro.
Yeah, I know it sucks to do 3 hours of radio and then sit down and do this. So I do appreciate you taking the time to do it. And I know everybody that tuned in.
It's all good.
I appreciate you, homie.
All right, brother.
All right, later. There you go.
Cheers.
Oh, nice little burp at the end. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.